Hey guys, Mubarak here of In Penny Stock. Hope you're doing well. In today's episode, I want to go over how to find certain cryptocurrencies that are going to be dominating the market. All right, because as you can tell, there's so many different cryptocurrencies, almost 3,000 now, and it's tough to figure out which ones are actually going to make it long term and which ones are just going to kind of patter out. So, in this video, I'm going to be going over how to look at a cryptocurrency, how to review it, analyze it, and kind of what type of due diligence you should do before you start purchasing, right? So, just on a general market level, we're kind of seeing a market dip right now, and that's across the board. Even in the stock market, you're seeing that generally speaking, the indexes and everything is low right now due to all the instability with Trump. Just in general, the stock market doing an overcorrection and adjusting since we've been on the longest bull run in history, essentially. So the one I want to talk about today is SNC. Now, one of the first things you want to make sure of is any cryptocurrency, go on CoinMarketCap, and this is where I start my research and due diligence always, okay? So now, this is a very low-priced cryptocurrency, right? But it's not sub-penny. If it was lower than a penny, you don't want to look at it. But in this scenario, it still fits the general criteria of what I like to share with my students. And so here, obviously, with CoinMarketCap, you can take a look at the full scope of the pricing. And really, the great stuff is it has all of the research and information you need right here. So right off the bat, we can kind of pop into the website and see, what is this about? Okay, SunContract, open energy market. Okay, seems interesting. Looks like an international platform based on their homepage and what information they're giving, right? That's super key. Very basic information I like to figure out is two main things. First of all, what business are they in? Okay, what is the platform doing? Why was this even created? So that's what I like to look at. It looks like it has to do something with solar. It's talking about the local energy market. And then the second question I always figure out is what is blockchain's association with that industry, right? Or with this company. All right. So this says SunContract is the world's first live blockchain powered peer-to-peer platform. Okay. And essentially it's an energy platform. So it's a blockchain based company that's focused on the energy sector. And it's pretty much right here an open energy marketplace. Now, sometimes energy and solar especially can be more of a complicated topic. And, at our VIP, we discuss, the intricacies of certain industries like the solar industry. But in general, the key thing is first figuring out what the entire platform is for. All right, so those of you who have been interested in renewable energy or green energy products or in general, might be interested in SunContract. Okay, this is a very kind of booming industry right now, in the US with Elon Musk and Solar City. They've kind of pioneered the way for a lot of these companies internationally to also take the reins and also get ahead. And so SunContract seems to be dominating in the European region or the European Union. But really, what I like to do is always take a look at the collateral and the marketing of the company itself. So, right here, we can take a look. Rather than me sharing it with you, I like to show you guys the exact due diligence and research I do. And so let's take a look at their video.
The warmest house in the world is the one you call home. Each family house is unique. Each has its own personality. Its inhabitants, dimensions, surroundings. Some almost touch the clouds. Some are closer to the ground. Some are smart and self-sufficient, and there are those in a perfect harmony with nature. Although our houses are quite different, transparent, traditional, modern, futuristic, or classical, most of the houses in the world share something incredible. Above each house shines the sun, and beneath everyone heats the earth. Is there a source people can use to produce all the energy needed at our homes? How can we choose to buy home-generated energy from other houses in our community? When will people be able to choose and support a self-sufficient energy community? Choose the sun. Use the sun. SunContract.
All right, wow. So that was much more new age and modern than I even expected. Definitely an interesting model, but you know what? I feel like I want to learn more, right? So what I always do is I pander right into the About Us section, okay? Because I want to, oh, perfect, right here. I want to learn about the white paper, all right? Every blockchain that you'll deal with or that you want to deal with will have some sort of white paper laid out that breaks out what its function is, what it's doing, the purpose of the creation of this certain cryptocurrency. So now we can kind of dive in and get a little bit more information about what this platform is. What does SunContract even do? So here we see, okay, it's an energy trading platform and it utilizes the blockchain technology as a model for buying and selling electricity. So it sounds very interesting in terms of what it does. And I want to learn more about is where does the white paper and why does this token sale or this platform exist, okay? So let's dive right into it. A few key information that you should always figure out is figuring out kind of what type of token it is. Usually it's going to be Ethereum based, but I'd rather have that than some kind of self-made or self-created cryptocurrency. So take a look at the white paper. That's essential, right? You want to know what the whole point of the specific cryptocurrency is. And so you'll generally find that white papers, hopefully, well, if you're new to this, honestly, you'll find that, let me go to the table of contents. You'll see that generally speaking, the white papers actually have a very scientific approach to the way that they discuss the topic. And so they'll start off with an abstract, an introduction. They'll have essentially not necessarily their hypothesis, but what they're aiming to do, a conclusion, a roadmap, a funds allocation. So this setup right here, these table of contents is fairly straightforward. And then the only variable you'll pretty much see is the level of information and detail that different companies go into. So, I mean, sometimes companies have a shorter or smaller white paper, which might be only like 20, 30 pages. And then as they get larger, or if they're taking on a bigger role, they'll try to aim and come up with a larger white paper that goes into more detail. But generally speaking, what you want to do before you decide to invest or besides you try to get into the marketplace of any cryptocurrency is really figuring out what the background is, okay? What is the business model? What is the purpose? And, generally speaking, if you're going to be trying to buy low, sell high, you want to make sure that the opportunity that you're getting involved in is worth it. That there's a lot of growth, there's development in the industry, and that this company will be able to go the distance. Okay, so in some fashion, it's almost like when you're investing in stocks, right? It's pretty much the same, and that's why there's so much parallel over in penny stock or the stock market and the cryptocurrency market is because there's the general due diligence you have to do, right? You're buying into a company or a concept, and your general rule of thumb or what you're trying to do as an investor or buyer or a consumer is make sure that you end up making more money than you spent, right? You want to make more off of your investment. And so it's key to understand, the vision of the company. This is the qualitative study and research that you'll be doing, okay? You can always get more granular with technical analysis as well, and that's essentially what you do when you take a look at the actual chart. So the cool thing about coinmarketcap.com is that it'll allow you to see the different time frames that a certain cryptocurrency is within. So you can see, okay, generally in the last 3 months, it stayed pretty static between, 1 cent and 3 cents. It hasn't really gotten out of that range, and that causes a dramatic impact on the entire market cap of the company. But generally speaking, this gives a good place for where it currently is. And then what I like to do really is figure out which markets the company is actually on, and then figure out really the metrics and the total tokenomics, you could say, of the coin, right? So, for example, here the great thing is that it tells you what the max supply or the max creation of the amount of cryptocurrencies will happen, and then it also tells you how many are around. So if you take a look in this scenario, you can see that the circulating supply, that's the volume of this specific cryptocurrency, SNC, that's being traded around the world, is equivalent to the maximum supply. And so what does that mean? That means that there's not going to be further dilution. So that protects your risk of them creating or printing new cryptocurrencies of SNC, and so you won't get devalued, right? So that's something I like to hear and I like to see as a trader or somebody. And again, this is purely education. This is not investment advice, but generally speaking, if circulating supply ends up equaling max supply, you can be pretty confident that there's not going to be dilution. And that's a good thing, because what that means is, just from a printing standpoint or creation of new currency standpoint, your investment is not going to decrease or get diluted because they're making more coins arbitrarily. Okay. And then what I like to do is, take a look at what is the number one source, or where the actual volume is trading the highest. And you can see that this specific cryptocurrency, SNC, has its highest volume on this cryptocurrency exchange, which is trading in the billions of dollars, has a ton of crypto assets. So you also just want to make sure that, hey, listen, if I'm about to get invested or start trading this specific cryptocurrency, where is it being traded on? What exchange will I have to utilize? So it looks like this is a very popular exchange, especially in the European and Asian regions. So that's why, if you're in that area, you'll probably have heard of this, but that's kind of where you can assume to buy and sell SNC if that's something that you want to do. And, what I like to do is outside, okay, we did a lot of coin market cap research. We take a look at the website. We took a look at the platform. What I like to do is I like to Google and find out more content about the specific website. So you can do that in a variety of ways. Usually in the bottom or top of the actual website itself, you'll see access to a lot of their social media platforms. And so I kind of went into Medium, was poking around, and came across this fairly recent, right in the past month, that they actually got a grant for an R&D project. And sometimes, that's not necessarily the craziest thing, but the best part here is that they actually got a substantial amount of money to continue on with their venture. So you can see we're proud to announce that with our partner, we've been selected as an R&D project, right? So supported by the EU. They're getting 2.1 million euros, or which is the equivalent of 2.3 million US dollars, to kind of get their platform going. And this gives me a lot of confidence, because this amount of capital is equivalent to essentially a venture capital round. So it's almost like they raised a Series A. And the great thing about this is that it's just a grant from the government. So it's not even that they had to give up equity, or they had to bring in venture capital partners, or that there was any dilution. They just straight got into the ability of getting funding and being able to build out their blockchain technology and P2P trading. So what I like to see is any type of collaboration that they have with their individuals, with their users and customers. And that's what this article goes into. So it's an interesting two-part type of article that I found here. But it looks like they hadn't asked me anything, or an AMA, and broke out some specific questions. So definitely recommend that if you're going to be looking into this currency further, that you go through the Q&A, figure out how they answer, figure out a lot of the frequently asked questions, and that'll help you with your analysis and your understanding. So that's kind of the essential due diligence that I like to do. Finally, what I would always do and recommend is that you understand the team that you're investing in, right? So you can look at that through LinkedIn. You can look at that through their website. And generally in the About Us page, they'll tell you about what they are about, what they like to invest in, and really what type of team is building your cryptocurrency. So generally speaking, I find that in this scenario, they actually do have a video, and I'd like to kind of check it out and show you guys.
John is concerned over his high energy bill and pollution. He would like to make a change. His neighbor Mike has a solar power plant, but he's not entirely satisfied either. the compensation he gets for selling his excess electricity is too low. Surely there has to be a better way. They discover SunContract Pool, a platform that directly connects energy producers and consumers. It's a disruptive model where, thanks to the use of smart contracts and the blockchain, there is no need for the middleman. The easy-to-use app makes registration simple and fast. As new members of the platform, John and Mike can now trade energy as a digital commodity directly through the SunContract Pool. They become more independent and self-sufficient. They share profits, and they both made their contribution to cleaner environment by using renewables. You can join John and Mike and contribute to decentralized, smart and clean future powered by the sun.
Alright, nice. I like this video much better. It was definitely a better explanation of what they're doing, how they're working, and kind of how you can join. And then they have their roadmap as here as well. So they're already active. That's how we saw it. And then this is, as I mentioned, the team. So if you continue going through the About Us page, you can kind of get to know more about the team, the co-founders, the C-suite, and the different individuals involved with the company. Finally, there's always a board of advisors as well. And you generally want to see, who these individuals are, because this is essentially the individuals that are able to contribute and that are helping the direction of the company, but they might not be, full-time individuals with it. So I hope you guys like that. Again, if you want to learn more about this project, take a look at suncontract.org and really leave a comment below. If you have any questions, I'll be in touch with their executive team to be able to kind of find out more and give you guys information if you have any questions. So hopefully you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.